guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Christina, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you books I've been reading and books that I'm going to be reading soon. This is a video that's been requested a few times, either book hauls or book reviews for moms. So I'm gonna grab some of the books, grab myself a cup of coffee, and then let's chat. Okay, hi friends. I made myself a cup of coffee, and I think I've shared this maybe one time before over here. This is my favorite coffee. 7 Weeks Coffee, if you've not heard of them. They have such high quality coffee. It is mold-free, third-party tested, shade grown. It is direct trade, which is the most fair type of trade, and it is pro-life coffee. They donate 10% of every sale to pro-life pregnancy centers and ministries, and that actually ends up amounting to around 50% of their profit. So I feel like that's huge. I love what they stand for. I love their mission, and I love supporting them, but genuinely, I think I can safely and honestly say this is the best coffee I've ever had. Like, even my husband, who is not as much of a coffee snob and like does not care as much, or didn't before, I guess, about really good coffee, is like, this is the best coffee, or like, are we out of 7 Weeks Coffee? Like, so he's been all about it too. So I wanted to share about it in case you haven't heard about it, and I do have a 10% off code, so I'm gonna link that down in the description box below if you need to go grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea. I was gonna do tea because I already had coffee today, but I really wanted a coffee. Grab yourself a cup of coffee or a tea and come back, and we're gonna chat books for motherhood, homeschool, faith, and just really strengthening ourselves and building ourselves up as moms. Let's jump in. The book that I am currently reading, that I am not very far along in yet, but I'm absolutely loving, is Habits of the Household. And I think I did mention this in my January plans and goals video, if you saw it, Practicing the Story of God in Everyday Family Rhythms. You guys, this book is so good, and this is not actually a motherhood book, and it's not actually a homeschool book, and it's actually written by a dad. So this could be a really great book for dads and moms, parents in general, for creating like healthy rhythms in their home. It's so good. So I'm reading that right now along with Hunt, Gather, Parent. Now, Hunt, Gather, Parent, and I shared this one too in my monthly plans and goals video. I'm almost done with this one, and I listened to the bulk of it on Audible, and then I was like, you know what, I really do, like, I feel like you have a different relationship with a book when you like hold it in your hands and like see the font and see the way it's like broken up. And I don't know, I'm a very visual person, so I was like, I want to read the rest of this book, like, or at least some of the rest of this book in the physical copy. So I pulled this one down from the shelf, and I'm going to try to finish it out that way. However, what I did really like about the audiobook is I feel like I went through this book way faster, which maybe you don't want to do that with all books, but like with this one, it worked really well. I started listening to it when I had like the flu and I couldn't even like open my eyes. So I don't know, I've listened to it in the car a couple times, and this one is just so good. So, what ancient cultures can teach us about the lost art of raising happy, helpful little humans. It is so good. She goes and stays with indigenous cultures and learns from them, from like tried and true parenting methods that are contrary to the way we parent as Western parents and families. And it is, I mean, it's life-changing. So good. And it's not written from a Christian perspective, so there's like a couple things mentioned. It's nothing like crazy, but there are a couple things mentioned that you're just kind of like, okay, she's probably not a Christian. But this book, I feel like, is the best. Like, it complements it so well. I know I'm not far enough in the books, like I'll come back and tell you guys if I was correct, but I feel like these are the perfect match, because this is like the gospel companion to Hunt, Gather, Parent. So these are ones I'm currently reading, finishing up this one, still in the beginning of this one. If you've been around, you know by now that I am like a serial book starter, and I really struggle to finish books, and it's not because they're not good. it's because I have a hard time waiting because I get too excited to start another book. And I'm like, it's going to be too long until I start that, so I'm just going to start it. But then I genuinely have, I'll have like 10 books going, and maybe I won't read one for like 6 months or a year, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I never finished that one, and I'll pick it back up and all of that. But another one that I'm slowly working my way through fairly consistently, I guess, is Words Like Honey. This is such a beautiful book. I think I have shared this one here before. How to avoid unintentional harm, model kindness, and nurture your child's faith through what you say. It has you think very deeply and intentionally about the things that you're saying to your children, how you're talking to them. It is a beautiful book. Highly recommend. That one I'm actually intentionally working through slowly because I feel like I want to like digest and put into practice like each of the things that she touches on in each chapter. Another book that I started this one probably a few months ago, and then I like got sidetracked and like, okay, this is more information than you probably need, but this is my favorite spot that I sit at in the living room, and there's a windowsill right here with a bay window. And I will tend to like the books that I'm reading personally, and then the books that we have at like for read alouds, I'll stack them here. I don't love that. I need to get like a bookshelf next to me. I don't love it. And it'll start getting messy and cluttery and getting too many books. And then I'll decide, all right, this is ridiculous. You have 6 personal reading books here. Put them on the shelf that's right on the other side of the room. Like that's why your husband built you that giant bookshelf. Okay. But then I find that I don't grab for them. Whereas if they're right here and I'm like waiting for a kid who goes to the bathroom when I'm doing one-on-one lessons with them, I'll grab the book and read a couple pages or whatever it may be. Or like if I'm just taking a break with a cup of coffee and sitting in my spot, you know? So I feel like that's what happened with this book. All that to say, I started it and I really liked it so far. This is You Bet Your Stretch Marks. And I know that I'm gonna love this because I love her writing so much. If you're familiar with M is for Mama, this was her first book. I devoured this book. Like I would actually reread this book. That's how good it was. There's a lot of books like that. And that's the problem. I'm like, how am I ever going to get to reread a book if I like can't even get to all the books I want to read? Like, it's just crazy. Books are like my favorite thing. Then she came out with Hard is Not the Same Thing as Bad, which I still have a couple chapters left of. And like, I've been reading this on and off for, I don't know, like a year. So good. You know what I have found? This is what it is. When I'm going through a season that's not significantly hard, I think I stop reading this book. And then when things start to get tough again, I pull this book out and I start reading it. So maybe that's okay. Maybe it's okay to have books that take you years to read because you just read them when you need them. And that's like, okay, right? So we're going to go with that because it sounds good. Anyways, I started this one, even though I didn't finish the one before. And that's just like, I just probably need to accept that that's the kind of reader I am. And maybe that's okay. Something that I do want to get started on that I have been putting off for a while now, and actually I realized that I pulled the wrong ones off the shelf, so I'll have to grab it in a second, but years ago I read Mama Bear Apologetics, and then I even had the study guide, and I led like a women's small group where we went through this together. And then I got, let me go grab it, hold on. You know why I didn't have it? Because I gave it to a friend who came over to borrow it. So it is Mama Bear Guide to Sexuality. It's supposed to be really good, and it looked really good, and I think I'm just gonna order myself another one on Amazon because I don't want to ask for it back, because if she hasn't read it yet, I don't want her to feel like she has to give it back, or if she's in the middle of reading it, I don't know. But I will link it down below because it is on my list. But that explains why I'm like, how did I grab the wrong one? Because the right one wasn't there. Okay, lastly, I feel like I had so many more to share with you guys, but I was trying not to overdo it. So maybe I'll do this more often, like once a month or once every couple months, so that I'm not giving you like 20 book titles. And I can like come back and update you. Maybe that's the thing to do, and give you like a review on the ones that I haven't read yet. Okay. And if you're not familiar with this one, Mama Bear Apologetics is about empowering your kids to challenge cultural lies. This is in general. And then the other one is specific to sexuality. So I am really interested in this day and age to read that perspective and gain wisdom and biblical insight and all of that. Another book that I'm like dipping in and out of, and this is a book that's appropriate to dip in and out of, is Homegrown, edited by Amber O'Neill Johnston, and this is guidance and inspiration for navigating your homeschooling journey. What is so cool about this book is this is a collection of essays from many different homeschool moms, and there are like different categories, like The Beauty We Find at Home, and then Ainsley Arment, the founder of Wild and Free, Greta Eskridge, Julie Bogart, Amber O'Neill Johnston all have essays in there. And then, for example, The Elements We Rely on Most, The Roadmap for Forging Our Own Way, The Encouragement That Spurs Us Ahead, The Vision Inspiring Our Days. Like, so there are multiple different authors' essays in here. So this is like a really cool one to just like pick up any random day for like a light but encouraging read. Maybe a little heavy here and there depending on what it's about, but I really like that one and would recommend that as well. There are so many other books though that I have read that have been like pivotal to me, like The Call of the Wild and Free. It is the first homeschooling book that I ever read, and it really did shape how I view homeschool, like from the very beginning. So if you haven't read that, I feel like you have to read that one. I'm going to try to find my old book review videos. Maybe I should redo them because they're probably embarrassing. They're like from 5 or 6 years ago when I first started this channel, and I don't know, like it's probably super cringe and I won't even want to see it. And maybe I'll feel the same way. Imagine like another 5 or 6 years I'll see these videos and be like, oh my gosh, it's so cringe. Anyways, I do have one more thing to share though. So as if I don't have enough books on my to be read list as it is, a couple weeks ago, my pastor shared a message in his series on navigating change that's about the seasons of parenting or parenting stages. And this was like mind-blowing. Like I feel like many of the things I intuitively knew, but seeing it outlined, like the age ranges, like, and the different things that the kids need in those age ranges, and the things that we should focus on as parents and what we should be cautioned to not do as parents. It was so good. Like I feel like every parent could benefit from watching that. And then he recommended a book for every stage. Like if you're parenting if you're in this stage of parenting, read this book. And so I'm gonna link all of those down in the description box below as well, along with his sermon, because I just feel like it was just so good that I want every mom to be able to benefit from it. And dads, like my husband and I loved the message, and we also realized, my husband said to me when it was over, he's like, so we have a kid in each stage. No wonder we're so tired. And I'm like, yeah. Also, what I'll link down below though is my Amazon storefront section that has all of the motherhood books that I love. I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. Let me know if you've read any of these books and give me your review of them down in the comments, or if there's a book that you're like, you have to read this book, please drop that below, not just for me, but for other moms who will be watching this video. Yeah, and let me know if you have any more video requests, because I am genuinely taking them into consideration, and if they are a good fit, then that is what the content that I'll be putting out, because I don't want to be just putting out videos just to put out videos. If you're not already following me on Instagram, you can follow me over there at rooted_homelife. And if you want to follow my husband or encourage men that you know to follow him, his new page is rooted_legacy_, but I will link that down below as well. Anyways, I hope to see you soon in one of my next videos, and until next time, stay rooted.